Hey everyone, it's Magical Veela, and in this video I will be sharing how to use my new deck, the Psychic Hotline Love Oracle, in your love readings, whether you're pulling cards for yourself, your friends, or your clients in a professional situation, giving professional readings, or maybe you even do readings on YouTube, for example, the Pick a Card love readings. I will be giving you tips for how to use this deck with other decks in all of those situations, as well as some suggestions for better connecting with your intuition when you're giving intuitive readings. So stay tuned. So the first thing I want you to know is that you actually do not need this video. What? I'm telling you, you do not need this video. I'm creating this video for two reasons. First one is that I promised that my deck, the Psychic Hotline Love Oracle, would come with some how-to videos, and I want to honor my promise. So here's your how-to video. The other reason that I'm creating this video is that a lot of readers, especially in the beginning when they're first starting out, enjoy and appreciate more how-to information. It just helps with their confidence, right? I know I was that way in the beginning. I wanted to watch all the YouTube videos and read all the books and take classes and get all the tips that I could so that I would be a better reader. Because most professional readers really are, we're very conscientious, and we do this because we want to help people with our psychic gifts, and we want to be doing a good job, right? You want to know you're doing a good job, and a lot of times, unfortunately, we suffer from lack of confidence in that area. So I am creating this video partly just to help you feel more confident when you're giving your readings, all of your love readings, whether you're using my cards or not, and I hope that this will be helpful. So you may be asking, why is she saying I don't need this video that she's making? This video, this how-to video she's making on giving readings, why is she saying I don't need it? Well, what I'm about to share with you is, I'm going to say, the most important tip that I ever share in my courses on intuitive reading, and that is this: get ready. There is no wrong way for you to connect with your intuition. You are the foremost authority of your intuition. There is no wrong way. So you really don't have to learn a complicated layout and spread and follow a diagram and memorize meanings and read how-to books. Just go with what works for you. If it doesn't work for you to memorize meanings and memorize elaborate spreads and develop a complicated technique, then don't worry about it. Spirit, or the divine, I call it the divine, whatever you call it, the universe, spirit, the divine is not going to communicate with you in a way that doesn't work for you. It's the divine, right? It's infinite creative intelligence. So it already knows if you're not someone who likes to use reverse cards or memorize meanings, or if you prefer tarot over oracle or Lenormand over tarot, or whatever you like to do. If you like to use 3 different decks but only some of the cards, that's okay. The divine knows, and it can work with that. It's the divine. Spirit, the universe, is infinite. there is, I'm going to repeat this because it's huge. It's huge, 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 huge. There is no wrong way for you to connect with your intuition. And when you are doing readings, that's what you're doing. You are interfacing with the divine and interpreting a message intuitively and delivering it in the way that only you can. So, however you like to do that, whatever way works for you, do it. That's great. Now, that having been said, I will share with you a couple of tips for using my cards in the mix. So stay tuned. All right, so using my cards, the Psychic Hotline Love Oracle deck. First thing you will notice is that the cards are color-coded. They are different colors. They are different colors. And I did it that way for a reason, and I chose the colors for a reason. Included in every deck is this little how-to card, and it explains the different colors and what they mean, and it also gives you just a really quick little how-to. It says to answer a question, it's easiest to keep the cards separated by color, pick the category that fits your question, shuffle those cards, and pull one out. So for example, if you're asking when will I meet him, you want to use the timing cards and pull one out. First thing I'll explain is the color combinations. I chose these for symbolic reasons because I like symbology, and also because I wanted it to be easy for you to remember which cards are which. The cards that are orange to yellow are like sunset colored, right? Sunset or sunrise. So those cards are timing cards. They're yes, no, is it going to happen, when, like what season, will it happen soon, is it going to happen quickly, yes, no, maybe, in the autumn, in the fall, in the summer, in the winter, or not anytime soon, not for a long time, those kinds of cards. They also give you a few tips on where you might meet that person, or where the querent might meet that person, and how to make that happen. So one way that you can use these cards is you can keep them separated by color in little piles, and then if someone's specifically asking you a question about yes or no, is this a guy? Or am I going to meet him soon? Or when am I going to meet him? You shuffle those cards and just pull one out, and the answer is on the other side. I recommend keeping them in their separate colors and just pulling based on the type of question. If you are doing the kinds of readings that are very quick telephone readings where they're asking one question, for instance, Purple Ocean type questions. You've got 3 minutes to answer one question, so you really don't have time for each of those readings to pull 6 or 8 or 10 cards and do an elaborate intuitive reading. And what they really want in that kind of situation is an answer. They want a quick answer, and they don't really want to think about it. And ladies, listen, part of the reason I created this deck is I'm very mindful of the fact that with everything going on in the world right now, more of us than ever have taken our gifts and businesses online because we've got to do something, right? We've got to do something. And if you're in a situation where you are trying to do as many readings as you possibly can so that you can pay the dang rent, you don't have time in those situations, nor do you have the energy to be laying out a complicated Celtic cross spread and doing all kinds of elaborate interpretations and figuring out their chart and consulting spirit to give you some kind of an intuitive answer. No. you've got 3 minutes. If you're on Purple Ocean, you've got 3 minutes. And so you want to get straight to the yes, no, and when, if that's the kind of question they've asked you. So with these cards, you can do that. Now, let's say they've asked a question more about what's going to happen. What's going to be happening in my love life over the next few months? Or what's going to be happening with this guy? Am I going to be hearing from him? Or why did this guy, I'll get to why in a minute, but what's going on? So the green cards are all about what's going on, going, green for go, what's happening in your love life coming up, or in the querent's love life coming up. And they are cards with answers about things like, is there deception going on with this new suitor? Is there going to be drama happening? Am I going to be ghosted? Will I be receiving a commitment? Or are we going to be breaking up? Those are the kinds of situations. Is someone thinking about me? Am I going to be contacted by someone from the past? Those are the kinds of situations and answers that the green cards cover. Now let's say that they have asked why. Why haven't I heard from this guy? Or why are we having problems? Or why isn't he making a commitment? And those kinds of more psychological type questions are answered by the purple to blue. So it stands for influences, spirit and mind, purple and blue. And that's why I chose these colors. And they are influences, why someone does what they do, what's going on to affect the relationship, the budding relationship. And they're things like everything from competition, insecurity, addictions, finances. Who's ever thought about finances, right? Baggage, obligations, legal problems, all different kinds of elements that might affect your love life or the querent's love life, good or bad, are covered with these questions. And then finally, the pink questions, which I made them pink to represent rosy love, right? Pink questions. And they are more like characters. They represent characters. So the people involved in the love life, the people involved in the question. So they have answers like great catch, or the king, the queen, the knight, the princess, the desperado. And these will tell you more about the querent, if that's you or your client, and they will tell you about the person that they're asking about. And another thing you can do, so one way we've said that you can use these cards is they've asked you a specific question, you can go to the color that you need and pull one card from that, or you might pull one card from several different colors. And if you're going to be in a hurry, in a short period of time type situation where you want quick answers, then it might be easiest for you to keep the colors separate. Now let's say that you want to give a broader answer, a bigger answer, perhaps a picture of their love life or a picture of what's coming up with their love life. Then you could mix all the cards together, all the colors together, there's no reason why not, shuffle them up really well, and then pull randomly 4 different cards, 6 different cards, or make sure that you're pulling one from each color. You can also use these with other love cards. So for instance, just like you normally would do pick a card, perhaps you pull cards from several different decks and you lay them out in 3 piles or 4 piles. So you're picking out 1 or 2 from the Angel Tarot deck and 1 or 2 from the Romance Angels deck, and then you might pull a yellow one for each from my deck and a pink one for each, or a yellow and a green one for each, or you could just mix the deck up and randomly just pull 1, 2, 3, 4 cards for each of your piles and mix them all together. Now, because my deck has the writing right on the cards, the definitions are right on the cards, they have a lot of information on each card. You will find that you won't necessarily use all of that information every single time for every reading. You're going to naturally gravitate towards parts of it, and it will really depend on what the question is, and you'll probably know something about your client and their situation, so it will depend on what the question is and then what other cards you've pulled, and you'll see how they fit together. So for instance, perhaps you've pulled the weight card, the obligations card, and the drama card. Rather than necessarily reading all the information on these cards, on all 3 of these cards, what you will notice very quickly as you glance at them, what stands out, and what stands out for you might be different than what stands out for me. But when I look at these 3 cards and I see how they fit together, what stands out for me is it's probably not happening just yet. It's not happening just yet. You or he or both of you has some obligations that are going on right now. Some family obligations. Maybe there's some custody issues, or the ex-wife or ex-husband is causing problems. Something's going on that's creating some obligations and some issues between the 2 of you, and there's going to be a little bit of minor drama happening that's going to slow down your plans to move this along and hurry up and get committed and get hitched. There may be some minor drama as you adjust with these various family obligations. Don't get sucked in. This will not be major unless you make it major. So just don't panic, keep your cool, handle this with confidence and empathy and grace, and you will get through this. But also don't rush and don't push. That's what's happening in the near future. That's what I just pulled from these 3 cards with all of that information on them. Do you see how that works? It's all going to fit together, and you'll see it when you pull the cards. You'll see it. Just like you see when you pull several cards from several different decks and you look at the spread and you just have an intuitive feel for how they all fit together and what the ultimate message is with those cards together. And that is how you use this deck. Now, I've heard from people who keep them separate by separate color, and a lot of times that's what I do when I'm using them. And I've heard from people who mix them all up and just randomly pull, or mix them up and pull one of each color. And again, there is no wrong way to use them. Absolutely make them work for you. And if you think of a way to use them that I haven't covered here, I would love to hear about it. So please feel free to drop me a note on my website at magicalguidance.com or at sageandcrystal.com, or follow me on Instagram and let me know that you've used the cards and how they've worked for you, and if you've figured out a creative way to use them in your readings that I haven't covered here. I would love to hear about that. Thank you so much, and happy reading, psychics.